Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, Funds.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, mortgage protection, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing how to avoid common life insurance mistakes as a senior. Let me tell you one thing, this country, the good old United States of America, there's a lot of people turning old really quick. It's just one of the fastest growing demographics out there. So there's a lot of need for life insurance because as we get older, we tend to die sooner than versus later, right? Unfortunately, that's just the way that happens. So I put together some points here on how to avoid common life insurance mistakes as a senior. And I've kind of kind of hinted at it here, but number one, as you get older, you realize that, so much of life you probably should have taken care of sooner than rather than just put it off. So number one point is start early. Begin considering life insurance options when you're still relatively young and healthy. Man, you get your best rates when you're younger and healthier. And as you age, the cost of insurance increases. And as you get more and more health problems, that can affect your eligibility and therefore your premiums at some point in the future as well, if you keep delaying this. So if you start early, and get enough coverage, get that secured, you'll have an affordable rate, you'll have better options. The second thing you should do is assess your needs. Really, you want to evaluate your financial obligations. That could be things like outstanding debts, mortgage, and anticipated future expenses, kids' college, things like that, even burial final expenses. And then what you need to do is just determine the amount of coverage based on those factors, as well as kind of any desired financial surpluses you'd like to leave behind for loved ones. And it's going to be different for everyone. So a single person, in their 20s with no assets probably doesn't have much need for life insurance, to be perfectly honest. If you want to get some, I was one of those people. I guess I was just destined even way back then to be an insurance guy because I was in my early 20s and I went out and bought life insurance. And, I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I haven't used it yet. But at that point, I bought a permanent policy. Crazy enough, right? So I guess it's just in my blood. But, as you start to get more responsibility, you get married and have kids, or you buy houses or a house or houses, and you get more assets, but equally as important, more liabilities, right? More loans you own. And just understand that if you're a married couple and you get a car, and these cars are getting so expensive these days, and you buy a house and everything, when one of you passes away, the other one is legally obligated to pay for that. But you're no longer here because you're dead, right? You're dead. So when you're dead, unfortunately, your employer is not going to keep paying a dead person. And now you might have a little bit of insurance through work, a little bit of life insurance, but man, most of the times that's just one times your annual salary, which means your family's okay for a year or so. But beyond that, gosh, hate to say it, they're probably screwed, right? Financially anyway, and emotionally, and just all sorts of things. So, assess your needs. If you've got young kids, you need lots of life insurance. If you got an expensive house and you want to make sure that your surviving spouse or partner keeps the house, you need life insurance to cover it. If you want to make sure that your spouse never has to worry about money again should you pass away unexpectedly, you're probably going to need more life insurance than you think. And not all of us just goes in the blink of an eye. Some of us go in the driving to work and the dump truck comes the other way and hits us, and all of a sudden we're gone. We don't even have time to think about it. What if it's a terminal condition and you get that diagnosis from the doctor, and then you realize that you don't have any insurance in place and your family's just going to be totally screwed, and that's all on you. And regret is just a tough one to deal with in a situation like that. So, not cool stuff to talk about, but that's life. We got to talk about that stuff because that stuff happens. So, in order to figure out what's going to be most appropriate regardless of your age or your situation or where you are at in life. You need to understand policy types. So, as a senior, that's what this is about, life insurance for seniors, assessing your needs. Most people, by the time we get into our senior years, we have less debt. The kids are out of the house. You have less financial obligations. Really, in a lot of cases, you don't need loads of insurance, but a lot of people are on fixed or limited incomes, and they've just never quite been able to get saved up for taking care of their final expenses, burial, cremation, whatever else. They're on a fixed or limited income, probably just getting by, a little bit extra money, just enough to get out a policy to take care of their final expenses. Most people, that's all they need as they get older. But there are different types of policies out there. So we do run into people. I had somebody today I was helping today. They're 77 years old, and he wanted $100,000 policy. And there's policies out there. I was able to give him a number of the best price companies out there, but it was still more than his budget because he waited too long. I can tell you one thing: don't wait until you're 77 years old to be looking at getting 100,000 or 200 or $1 million, unless you've really got some pretty good, finances in the background on that, which most people don't. So you got to plan. I tell you what, w- our senior citizens out there plan their whole life, and then a lot of times, I guess I tell people when they're in a situation that hey, they were so busy living they never thought about dying. Don't let that happen to you, because then they're in a situation where they have trouble even affording any coverage at all. So as we get older, as we get into our senior years, term life doesn't really make sense. Most of the term policies out there are going to end once you get past age 80. And universal life policies, if you bought any of those policies back in the 80s, those things are blowing up left and right due to price increases, and people didn't contribute enough money into those in the good years when there was all these high interest rates and everything, and those policies were just doing a bang up job. So most people, most seniors are left looking at whole life insurance. And, there's different types of policies out there. I can tell you the one thing you don't want: don't believe that stuff you see on TV, that's going to force you into a policy with a 2-year waiting period. Yep, 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 yep. Ignore that stuff. Don't believe those kind of commercials that say, hey, you can have all this coverage for 990 something, whatever it is. Yeah, 2-year waiting period. Yuck. Yeah. So what you really want to do is, we don't expect you to be an insurance policy expert. You got better things to do with your life and your wealth of life experience. Just find a agent that is going to treat you fairly, that's experienced, that's able to go out and shop for you and get you the best pricing out there. Oh, incidentally, that's what we do at Funeral Funds of America. So if you don't have an agent, reach out to us. If you do have an agent, I'd still reach out to us, because this is what we specialize in. And there's a lot of people out there that just aren't very good at insurance. Kind of, I guess, kind of like doctors, right? 50% of the doctors graduated in the top of the class, and 50% of the doctors graduated in the bottom of the class. Which one do you want operating on your brain? Yeah, you want the best doctors. So give us a call at Funeral Funds. We're the best at what we do. Um, Another point is, as you're a senior, just consider the medical underwriting. Term life insurance is brutal for most people who are seniors who have any amount of health problems or prescription medications. The underwriting requirements are much more stringent for term life. And the term life policies that really target seniors out there, they're going to go up in price every 5 years and cancel once you get beyond age 80. And you'll see those policies out there that say, hey, you can have your first payment be $1 for $50,000. And then, holy cow, a relatively lower premium that first 5-year period. But beyond that, then the prices start going up. And it's a very profitable product for those particular insurance companies, because so many of those policies don't pay out because the prices go up so high that people have to cancel them, or they outlive the policy, and now the term life insurance company, in that case, has just pocketed all that money as profit. That's why it's less expensive. They love that, and the policies, in my opinion, are kind of designed to kind of kick people out of those policies whenever they need it the most. But if we're looking at whole life insurance, which is what we'd recommend, the underwriting is really flexible. I mean, we get so many people call us up and they think, "Oh, I'm going to have to settle for a 2-year waiting period because I don't want to answer any health questions." And we talk with them, and then we say, "Hey, despite the fact that you're on 8 medications and you've got this issue and that issue and that issue, we can still get them first day coverage." Pretty terrific. The other thing is, when searching for life insurance as a senior, a lot of people would say, get multiple quotes. Well, I mean, all you're going to do typically when you request multiple quotes is get yourself on multiple call lists, multiple spam dialing lists. And a lot of those companies out there, they they just want to get your contact info. And then what they'll do is they'll sell it to their agents, and they'll sell it over, and it may be sold 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And then there's companies out there that their only job is to generate leads to get you to fill out that form. Now you're a lead, and now your information gets sold to companies and agents. And I tell you what, when people are paying for your information, they're going to burn your phone up. You're going to be ringing day and night. So when people tell you to compare multiple quotes, be very cautious about that. The process we use at Funeral Funds of America is we have access to compare pricing to all the best insurance companies and all the worst, to be perfectly honest, in your state. And what we do is we go and shop around for you. And we've got contracts. We're licensed with these different companies to be able to sell their products, and we go out and find the companies with the lowest rates, and we go out and find companies that accept the most health problems so that we can get you first day coverage. So you don't need to go out and compare multiple quotes on your end. We do that on our end. And if you got a computer, we're happy to screen share this thing so that you can see exactly what we're looking at. Total transparency. It just comes down to the next point of seeking professional advice. Kind of like the doctor thing. You don't want to go to the doctor that graduated in the bottom of the class. Why would you get insurance advice from an agent who's only been in the business for a year or 6 months or whatever, or who doesn't have you know, a broad wealth of knowledge on what might be best for you? And in so many cases, there's agents out there that are going to try to pressure you into whatever they sell. And the agent might work for a captive agency, which means they only sell their one insurance company's stuff, which rarely is going to be a good deal. I mean, there's one company out there. I ran numbers on it from age 50 all the way up to age 80. And on average, their premiums were 200% higher than our lowest priced first day coverage program. Why would you ever spend double than what you absolutely need? Don't do that. Don't do that. Just make sure that you're talking with somebody who is a professional, who's been in the business years, who you're comfortable with, and possibly somebody who's got a podcast like Funeral Funds of America. I love you. And then the other thing is, review and update your policy. We like sending birthday reminders out on an annual basis. Just keeping in touch with our clients to say happy birthday. Hey, do you need any more coverage? Have you had an address change? Do you have any better beneficiary changes? Anything like that? Any life events, like maybe you got married, maybe you got divorced, maybe the birth of a child or grandchildren or something like that. So we always tell people, stay proactive. Just if you need to update anything or add any coverage or anything like that, we can help you out with that. Even if your policy was through another agent at some point in the past, chances are they're not in the business anymore anyway. Reach out to us and we can just get everything converted over, and we can be your agent going forward. And we can, even if we don't help you even if we don't help you by selling you anything, we can still answer all your questions. That's just part of our service, and we take amazing care of our clients. So if you're seeking professional advice, just call Funeral Funds of America and we can help you out there. So I hope that helps you understand how to avoid common life insurance mistakes as a senior. We have plenty of other podcasts out there. Check them all out. We'll be able to answer just about anything, any question you have, just through our podcast. But check those out. My name is Randy Vandervate, and I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral.funds.com. And our phone number is 888-862-9456. We will be blessed to help you with this in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.